My name's Robin. Welcome to this video. Perhaps you're considering or you're about to get ready for your activated coaching experience. And before we get in, I want to share some ideas to help you make the most of your coaching journey. So stick with me for a few minutes. Let's get going. So how to get the most out of your coaching journey? It's a real privilege for me to be able to enjoy this experience with you. So I want to set some frames. I want to just talk through some stuff so that you can show up in a way that will make this experience the most possible value to you. So I'm going to chat about some things to do. In particular, we'll talk about what you can do before your experience, how to show up during your experience, and then what you can do after your experience so that this becomes the most valuable resource possible for you. But before we get going, one thing people often ask me is like, dude, you're the coach. This is up to you, isn't it? I'm just going to show up. I'm the client, so you're going to do the work. And yes, I'm responsible to you as a client or as coach. I'm responsible to you. But as you'll know, perhaps we've had this conversation before, or you're about to have it with me, that your thoughts are your thoughts and your feelings are your thinkings. And I cannot think or feel for you. In the same way, I can't speak for you and I can't do for you. So whilst I'm responsible to you, and I'm going to do the very best I can to support you in your journey, in your coaching journey, this is still your journey. And you need to do the work. You're the one that needs to show up, and you need to do the thinking, and you get to do the speaking and the saying and the doing. And as much as I provide a support, a structure, and a container for your coaching journey, it's still your journey. So let's have a look. What does that look like? Before, are you coachable? As you come to a coaching session, are you ready to receive some insight, a shift in perspective, to see things from a different angle? Or are you still holding on to your old thinkings and your old ways, your old perceptions? There's nothing I can do to think for you, to feel for you, or to force you to take actions. That's not what coaching is about. It's an invitation for you to consider how you think and feel and the meanings that you make as you take steps on your journey between where you are and where you want to be. But I can't make you do anything. It's an invitation for you to respond. So one of the most important questions we'll ask is, are you coachable? Are you ready for this journey? And then, are you healthy? So if you're rocking up to your coaching session, and I'm not suggesting you do, but if you've had a hectic night before and you're partying hard and you're tired and you're still, suffering the influence of alcohol and rich food, then your physical body's not going to be in the best possible state for you to enjoy this coaching session, or for you to be able to show up in the best possible way. Likewise, if you're not sleeping, if you're overstressed, if you're not doing anything in your life to support you physically, then you're not going to enjoy your coaching session. Now, everybody starts at the start. So if you're watching this for the first time and you're in a space where you want to get rid of all that, you're welcome as you are, no judgment. However, if you're on this coaching journey, I'm going to invite you to show up healthy, to get enough rest, to drink enough water, to be eating well, and to be moving and exercising so that your physical body is ready to support what your spirit, your mind, and your heart want to embrace. And then the last thought is, are you prepared? Sometimes we're going to have home play. That's like stuff happens in the conversation of the coaching session that you need to go and reflect on or need to embrace, embody, and practice. And the magic doesn't happen in the coaching session. The coaching session supports you to be able to take decisions, change your thinking, become aware of how you're feeling and the meanings you're making, and then go do something about it. But I can't do it for you. And I also can't support you if you're not doing the work. So before the session, are you coachable? Are you healthy? And are you prepared? Have you done the work? Now let's consider what happens in the coaching session. So during your session, have you managed distractions? Like, is your phone on silent or do not disturb? Perhaps you need to put a sign on the door. If you're coaching at work or at home in a space that's shared, so the other people, do they know that you need to be focused, that your attention and your intentions are in this conversation for the next 45 minutes to an hour or whatever we've set up? And you can be not disturbed. Have you decommitted to other stuff so that you can commit to this particular meeting? Can you be fully present here? So switch your phone on silent, turn off the email, turn off social media, close those other web browsers if we're meeting on Zoom. Do what you can so that you can be focused in this conversation. And then what state are you in? What state, what mind, body, emotional experience do you intentionally choose to bring into this conversation so that you can be the best version of yourself and be open-minded, to have a learning mindset, a growth mindset, and you can make this moment together in this conversation really count. And then, are you willing to do the work? Like, let's go there. Let's ask the tough questions. I might challenge you, and I'm going to support you. I might, in my curiosity, I might interrupt. I might ask difficult questions. It might be uncomfortable, unfamiliar. However, it's there for you. It's all about supporting you, and I can't do it for you. So my invitation is, come with a readiness in the conversation to do the work, to challenge your thinking and to become aware of your feelings, your emotings and the meanings you're making, and then to practice, to try new things on, new ways of thinking and feeling, and even to try new doings. Even if it's in our first creation, in our mental arena, imagination, in the coaching conversation, in preparation for what you will do practically in your real world in the time after the session. Okay, so during the session, have you managed your distractions? What state are you in? And will you do the work? Okay, speaking about after the session, so the first thing I want to invite you to do is journal and write it down. So magic is going to happen. More often than not, we record the sessions, particularly on Zoom. That's our preferred platform. And in room, sometimes I'll be able to, on a second device, audio recording. So just do a voice recording of the session. Because a lot of my clients look for a reference to go back to what happened. That conversation was so powerful, so meaningful. However, there's something more that you can do than just listen to the recording again. And that's immediately after your session. So like within the next day, take the thoughts, your awarenesses, your insights. Those are like gems, and capture them in your journal and write them down, put pen to paper, whether you do pen to paper or you're making notes on some digital platform on your mobile phone or your laptop, whichever way, make sure that you get those, you drop them from your head into your heart, through your body, through your fingers in a pen or typing, and capture those thoughts and allow the processing to take place, to start that journey through a journal. And then the second thing is, did you schedule your actions? We're gonna have takeaways, so not just insights and awarenesses, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about what we've discussed in the coaching session that's gonna bring about the change? As you take these thinkings and feelings and you embody them, and we take mind into muscle and we take action, schedule them. If they're not in the calendar, as one of my friends will say, if it's not in the schedule, it doesn't exist. So give your attention in the same way that you're honoring yourself to show up in the conversation, honor yourself to schedule the changes that you're going to make. And then lastly, how will you give an account? How will you measure and almost prove, firstly to yourself, and secondly to myself and any other stakeholders, that you're doing the work, that it's done? I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about the next version, that you're taking action on these steps. Perhaps it's going to be in a WhatsApp. Perhaps it's going to be a picture that you send to me or your accountability partner. Or perhaps it's going to be in a document. Perhaps it's going to be in an email. However, isn't as important as that it is done. So after your session, write it down. Write down your insights, your awarenesses, and your commitments to yourself. Particularly in a journal. And if you're working with me, one of the journals I will recommend in a separate video and in a training, in a teaching, is the self-credibility journal. And then, did you schedule your actions? Are they in the calendar? And then how will you measure and how will you give an account? Okay. I want to invite you to unsubscribe from self-abandon. The primary reason people either don't show up to a coaching session, or they show up but they they're not present, they're not ready, they're not coachable, they haven't done the work, they're not prepared to do the work, is because we're abandoning ourselves. We're placing ourselves, it's like you're discounting. You really want to do this, the intention is there, and there's a gap between matching or aligning the intention to your attention. And when you're able to do this, to bring the two together of I have these aspirations, these intentions, but I'm going to follow through in my thinking, in my speaking, my personal powers, my feeling and my doing. And when you bring these two together, this is where magic happens. And as you do that, you can abandon yourself less and less, that self-abandon, and you start to honor yourself. You start to put yourself first and start to practice some self-care and self-love. And as you get this credibility with yourself, what my experience is that it actually becomes easier. And not much has to change before everything can change. Because as you do this, as you're aligning to yourself, as you're honoring yourself, you'll find that the tone of, the texture of everything that you do starts to change. So I look forward to this coaching journey with you. Are you ready for your life-changing activated coaching experience? May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be well. I see you inside the next session.